Hello? Oh, good. What a fantastic start. Okay, microphone's on now. Um, Marvelous. Anyway, as I was just saying, I'm doing very well at streaming because I'm streaming mere days after the last one rather than leaving it an entire month as I normally do. However, I didn't turn on the microphone, so new exciting ways to be bad every single time. Cool. So, last last time I made a TCP client for Gleam, and I did that by wrapping the Erlang Gen TCP module. And now I want to implement some support for receiving TCP packets as messages, because the way you generally want to use Gen TCP, and as a result want to use this package that I'm making that's based off of Gen TCP, is that you want to use, you don't want to have the current process to be blocking on calling the receive function, because that will just wait until you receive the next packet. But the next packet might not come for some time, and there may be other things you want to do during that time. So, for example, the process might want to handle an OTP system message, or perhaps you've got some sort of pub subsystem. So, like, you're not just waiting for data to come in from the TCP socket. You're also waiting for data to come in from whatever else is happening in your system. Maybe you're making a video game backend. Well, your player hasn't pressed any buttons, but the other player has pressed some buttons. So you want to send some data to the client, even though you haven't actually even though you haven't received anything from there. So you want to see it as messages, and that way, whatever message comes into your message queue first, that's the one you're going to handle. So to do that, we need to make it so that you can receive TCP packets as messages. So how do we do that? Let's look at the docs for this again. So I think there is somewhere a way of changing the mode of the socket from which way around is it? Passive to active? Which one? I think passive is the one where you call the function to receive something. In fact, we can find this out in the code. Because I think it's called mode. It's not called mode. Active? Well, who knows? So I've said it's not active, and that's the one where I receive it with functions, so we're in passive mode, not active. So let's see what the docs say. Passive. How do you do it? That's a good bit of documentation to include. So we should probably also start giving documentation and stuff. So it's like the receive function receives a packet from the socket. If it's closed, it returns this. Yeah, we expect that. If the socket's not in passive mode, it returns e-inval. I'm not sure what inval means. Well, there you go. So what do we think it's going to be? Active 1. The way to get no. Active n. If the socket is in active n, do I do that with this inet setops thing? Okay, so I can pass in okay, so I can call this setops function, which is not in Gen TCP, this is somewhere else, to say whether the socket should be in active or passive mode. You can set it to just be permanently on active or permanently on passive, but like I'm wondering if that's a good idea or not. Like, are there use cases in which you want it to be in fully active mode? Oh, hey, welcome. I've only just seen you say hi in chat. Good to have you. Yeah. So do you ever want it to be in fully active mode? Because if you get like loads of packets in, you're just going to flood the inbox, like the mailbox, and as such, like any time you try and do a selective receive, it's going to get really slow. Hmm. I feel like I can't think of a time when you don't want to just get one message, because you can get one message. Um, so at most the overhead you're going to have in the mailbox is one, and then you can choose to use the receive function after that in order to get the rest of the data, or you can just set it to be active for one message again. I'm not sure what's best. Let's just go for once. So what should we call it? Let's write a test. So test. Do we call it active mode again? Let's make a helper function to do this stuff. And I should start the tests going as well. Make an announcement in the Gleam Discord. What? How do I do that? How do I announce in the Gleam? As in like the way that I announce like new releases. That seems a bit much, you know. You're a bit noisy. I think the events channel is fine, right? Surely that's enough. Or not, you know. I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm much of an influencer really. I don't know how to build up all the hype and stuff. It's just kind of a nice different way to write some code, you know. With a few friends who can tell you when you've made an absolutely foolish mistake. Yesterday Alex pointed out I was calling the wrong function in the FFI. That was great. That would have taken me ages to find. Send, yeah. Why not? Let's do that. So then if we say active a good name. It's kind of unclear, isn't it? Active, and also it's only going to be for one. Let's go back to the docs. Mode. Oh, okay, so I'm wrong. Mode is whether it's list or binary. Active, on the other hand, is... Active can be a negative number? What does that do? What on earth does that do? Spooky. Elixir. Gen. TCP. Active. Andrea's pretty clever. He'll know what to do. active. So it starts inactive, that's what we expect. I don't really be suggesting. Okay, yeah, so this is what we were saying. You could set it to active. Hmm. Can we just copy the API exactly? Hmm. What do we do at the moment? We've got this connect options thing. That's just that's a normal type. Okay. Hey, welcome. I don't want to call it. I want to call it. I just want to have a function that just makes it active once. It's just like you just call it something really silly, like super obvious name, like uh, next packet as message. I mean, it's much clearer than active once. Unless you've read the docs. So like if we use the same APIs then we can just say, hey, go read their docs. You know, and every document, every tutorial and everything's been written for Gen TCP suddenly makes sense for this library as well. But is that what we want? Let's do that. Let's give it a really, really, really obvious name. So what did the docs say that was going to happen if we then called that? If you call receive, yeah, if it's not in passive mode, you're going to get this. Okay. Is that true? Because it might have been sent. Yeah, we've got to do this way around. Because we couldn't have done it, we couldn't have send and then try to receive a message because there's a chance that, yeah, there's potential for a race condition there because like if the other process ran fast enough to reply in that amount of time, which I think would be pretty hard. Is that true? Don't know. Then yeah, we may not necessarily get that error message. We may get a timeout instead because the message may have already been sent as a the packet may have already been sent as a message. So what do we need here? We're going to need to get. Oh, why are we importing actor? Oh, it's because the Glisten API asks for loads of complicated stuff. But I want the process API, the lower level one. Beaver equals So because we're going to get the packet as a message, we need to be able to receive it, and to do that with Gleam's Erlang library, you need to use what's called a receiver. So we need to configure the receiver in such a way that we get the socket. So how do we do that? We get the sockets, we get the packets from the socket. We can do that with and I don't think the receiver API is powerful enough to be able to match on a specific socket. Because if I remember correctly, the messages are like the first it's a bunch of records, and the first one, the tag is not the socket. It's instead the Atom TCP or something like that. Try and find that, shall we? TCP. That's not what I wanted. TCP. So there's a few different ones. TCP, TCP passive, TCP closed. TCP error. Reason. What's reason? Here it looks like it's the same error type. Okay. And this is going to need to receive like a mapping function. Just to match the existing API of the receiver. So we think we should receive back a message that looks like that. Something vaguely like that, maybe? Let's implement it, see what we get. And what is the Erlang we need to call set ops in the inet module? Okay. And I'm going to use my favorite little do not leak type to. Formatting looks odd. Did I not make a do not leak type? It's unusual. Okay. You make a private type, and you have external functions that return things that you don't want to leak. Return do not leak, and then you can't. Easy. A Gleam stream. Why does it cap at 720p? Probably because I don't know how to use OBS. Like it's definitely my fault. I've only just worked out how to make my audio sound not terrible, so you know, steady on. I will slowly improve, like very, very slowly. Yeah, I feel all right today. I got so I tested negative for COVID on Sunday, I think, and then was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday, I think. And then on Monday, I got really excited, so I cycled to the other side of London, picked up loads of um, stuff like posters and craft supplies and stuff, and cycled. So my bike was really heavy. Then I cycled back over a hill, over like the massive Highgate Hill, and then ran around town doing loads of stuff like physical, like lifting things and carrying things and running around town and it was a big mistake. I had a great time, but I'm still tired. Like, I think if you've just recovered from COVID, you should not do loads of physical exercise. Apparently. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but like, I think that actually does make sense. Right, what can I do here? Gen TCP option. Ah. Ooh. Oh dear. That's not what I want to see. Is there a way to set it to, because I can't do, so I'm looking at this option and I've got this one, binary bool. Okay, that makes sense, but like I don't want it to, why is it complaining? Oh, it's the other one. Okay. Oh, that's slightly alarming. The error that the doc said we would receive doesn't seem to exist in our error type that we've copied. So it was E in val. Are you joking me? Um, okay, great. So we've got to add all these other ones in there as well. Blimey. Where was the error again? Okay, so is that all the ones we've got? Um, so x bad sec. Yeah, okay, we've got that. And then there's all these POSIX ones as well, which does that include E in val? E. Oh, it does. Okay. This error type is getting absolutely ridiculous. Just getting the comment from. Um, what was the other one? Cool. So I should aim for 10 ACP, should I? Is that, oh, what's happened there? Ah, because should I try and get to 1080p? I was sort of wondering, like 720p. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I would probably get pretty annoyed if I was on if I was watching 1080, if I was watching 720p. I don't know why I'm asking these silly questions. I clearly should just make it better, shouldn't I? I think my internet can handle it, so why wouldn't I? And I wouldn't have to look at like a tiny. I'm looking at a tiny little window, just like in the corner of my monitor. I can make it. I can make it big. Ooh. I'm still a bit achy from running around town. Okay, so new receive. It's not called a selector, it's called selector, and it's not called, there's no such thing as a receiver. What am I doing? Selecting TCP messages. Yeah, how am I going to do this once thing? Does anyone have clever ideas? Do I just do it with FFI? It's kind of nice if I don't do it with FFI, but it's awkward. So these options, are they all tuples? Mode. Socket opt is... Oh, that's a lot of options. Are these all tuples? This is a 4-pole. What does that mean? Raw protocol option Okay, so all of them except that one are 4-poles? What am I trying to do? Okay, so Gen TCP has a feature called active and passive mode for, I keep using the word mode, but they don't call it mode, I don't think. Socket being, do they? Let's find out. Active mode. Okay, there's two things called mode in Gen TCP. Awesome. Nice, that's what we like to see. Okay, so if you've got a socket in passive mode, to receive data from it, you call the receive function. To receive data from a socket in passive mode, it just sends you a message. You kind of want to use both. And so I'm writing a function that will enable you to switch it from passive mode, where you call a function, to active mode, where it sends you a message. It's also getting a bit stuffy in here. Let me just open my window. Back in a second. It's me. I'm back. I've got one of those. I did a COVID paranoia like last year or whenever, and got me one of those. Is this going to focus? There you go. I got one of those COVID CO2 monitors, which is not useful for COVID whatsoever because it just sits in my room, but it does tell me if it's getting a bit breathy. And the point of that is that apparently, according to something what I read that was trying to sell me one of these, which completely worked, so maybe it was maybe I shouldn't trust them, but apparently if there's high CO2 concentration in a room, it like quite strikingly affects your ability to perform cognitive tasks and like decreases your your reaction speed and stuff like that. Which makes sense, right? You need oxygen to do stuff. So like if there's less oxygen in the room, then you can't do things as well. I guess. Exactly. Big brain need O2. Okay, so I don't know how to do this active passive thing. Okay, let's change the format of, let's use our friend, the dynamic library. Option. Gen TCP option. Name. And type Gen TCP option. is now a tuple. Like that. Way better. Oops. Oh. But now it's not. Now I can't pass in binary by itself. Is it meant to be mode? List or binary? Yep, it is. Okay, so mode. Then I need. Oh, I'm typing in the wrong thing again. Sorry, everyone. Type mode. Type mode value is binary or list. Is it true? Is it oh, and I don't ever want to have list. Okay. Of. It's not of, is it? It's from. Boom. Nice. So now I can send in here. Oh no, that is right. Set socket options. Return nil. Nope, I don't want to do that. What am I allowed to pass in here? Active. Once or a number. Message counter drops to 0, then the following message indicates the socket is percentage of passive. So I think I want it to be once. I could actually pass in the socket, otherwise it doesn't do anything. Next up. When did Gleam get pub type thing with no contents as a way to declare types? The previous release, so that was 0.31. And it's because the external syntaxes have been refined. So instead of having external, you just write no constructors. You do just that. And this is the new way of writing an external function where you have this attribute above. And it's nice because you can do like JavaScript and Erlang all in one thing. And you don't need conditional compilation anymore in order to implement things with both platforms, which is nice. There's still a bunch of things that are annoying about it. For example, you can still get into weird places if you try and make libraries that work on both runtimes, especially if they use dependencies. So the next, maybe not the next, but one of the next versions of Gleam is going to start treating externalness like an effect. That's not clear. Let me try and explain what that means. That means if you've got parts of your code base and your dependencies that only compile for JavaScript, that's fine. It won't be an error. But every function, the compiler will track whether or not this function exists for JavaScript and it exists for Erlang. And so if your function calls a function that only exists for JavaScript, that means that your function will also only exist for JavaScript. And that's fine. And we just show it in the documentation, like which functions work on what targets. And then if you try and run your program and it calls something in the Erlang world and you're running it on JavaScript, then we say, nope, sorry, you can't do it with this one. Yeah, and then so you can write so long as your code is correct for your platform, then it works. And if it's correct for the other platforms, that also works. You know, I think that would be the best of everything. So is there no way of marking a type as external? No. It is just a type that define, and it's the same thing what an external type always has been. An external type is a type that doesn't define any constructors. And we've just removed the keyword. Just don't need to do that anymore. Is external a keyword? No, it's not. Oh, I'm typing in a window and you can't see. How long have I been doing that for? Anyway, when I said, oh, that's annoying. I wasn't typing anything, but I was like basically repeatedly highlighting this one definition while I was talking. This is how you do external functions now. And I just wanted to see, is external a keyword anymore? No, it's not, because it's not erroring, but like it's still purple. So I think I need to, VS Code is out of date. I need to update the VS Code thing. I need to update a lot of stuff. Languages are too big. It's only a small language and I'm still doing things forever in it. Anyway. Did it work? Let's find out. Break all the syntax and update it after V1. I would. Now is I'm working towards V1. V1 soon. Soon. So yeah, if we want to break stuff, now is the time. I keep asking like, what would you like to change about Gleam? And no one really says anything. They all, or rather, not change. What do you want to break? And people don't really have anything to break. They normally ask for new extra things, and I'm not talking about extra things. I'm talking about, would you want to either change in a breaking way, or what do you want to remove? I think it's a really good sign. Like if I keep asking this question and no one is saying, "Oh, you should remove this, you should remove that," kind of implies we've got a good collection of things, eh? We must be doing all right. Cracking. Right. Let's make this function that it's been complaining about for ages as I witter on about unrelated nonsense. So I need to define a type for it to return. I don't know what they are. What did I say it was going to be in the tests? Packet. Packet, or what do the docs say? So TCP, I'm calling that packet. TCP passive. Does that ever happen? I'm gonna hope that never happens. I think because I'm using the once API rather than the passive than the active number API, which I think means it doesn't send that message, but I'm not sure. And then TCP closed and error. Okay, I can do those. So packet closed and TCP error. Error. Packet contains a bit string. It also contains a socket and a bit string. This contains a socket as well. That's just a socket. Okay, so this should go from TCP message to T. No, not TCP, just T. Boom. Oh, what have I? Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Socket closed. There we go. Ah. What have I done here? Ah, because it said selector. I want to say selector. Wait, what did I have here? Let's give these the proper name. What the hell is it called? Is it just called select? Oh, you tell I didn't use these modules enough. Oh yes. Should equal socket, yes. Good. How does this work? I'm gonna need the atom module here. Atom. So selector process dot. What's the record selecting? I don't remember. Maybe I should look at the docs every now and again, eh? Boom. Process. Everybody likes processes. Selecting. Here we go. Record 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Selecting record 2. And what am I doing? Selector. What am I doing? Erlang. I'm making an atom. That's what I'm doing. God, brain's not working today. So here, data is dynamic. So I need to decode this. I need to decode a. What do I need to decode? I need to decode a socket. Okay. I could just unsafe coerce it, I suppose, because I know what it's going to be. Except I've got it wrong already because it's not that. It's where are the messages? There's 3 items in this record, not 1. Okay. Does it say what it is going to be? Nice. I love how it just doesn't give you the types of. Where's this? Where's it got? TCP. Socket. Yeah, look at that. It just doesn't tell you what data is. It's got to be a bit string, right? So socket and data. Oh yeah, mapper packet socket. Boom, and it's going to be like, hey, this is dynamic, and I'm going to be like, hey, I don't care. Dynamic dot create from string. Oh no, that's not one. Unsafe coerce. I just want coerce. Boom. Never do this. You're not meant to do this. This is naughty. I've been reading too much of Haley's code. Don't do this, kids. What are the other two? Ah, I named this wrong. It's not called bit. Ah. It's been renamed to bit array, not bit string. So TCP closed. TCP error. TCP closed is just 2. So it's just a socket. So it's socket closed. Boom. And TCP error returns a reason. Boom. There we go. Let's make this like so mildly. Yeah, let's do exactly what it's suggesting there. Let's make it very, very slightly safe. For the first one, using that just so it's slightly clearer what's happening. Boom. Cool, the test passed. That's nice. So this should be back in passive mode, right? So I should be able to do this and get a timeout. Wicked. Okay. That's it, right? Is that enough? That's enough to integrate it into an actor. God, this looks like absolute mess, doesn't it? How can we do better than this? Oh, it looks awful. Hmm. Very exciting out there. What's going on here? What have I done wrong? There we go. Nice. Just tidying up a little bit here. What was the next one we say? Closed. Do 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 do. Riveting stuff, they say. I do quite like Copilot and all these like AI assistant things. I really love it if I could just like somehow describe this refactoring to it and it just be like, yeah, cool, done. This is the wrong thing. What have I done? It's a TCP error. Boom. Oh. Is it not? Ah. Okay. Sick. Awesome. And I keep using the old syntax and it keeps complaining at me. Nice. That's probably enough, right? Maybe it's not enough. So we should probably make it so we should make sure that let's send 2 messages. And we should send another message. The socket is in passive mode, so we don't get another message for this one. It's a packet, not a message. Message. Is it nil? Is that what it returns? Oh. Oh. Why is it doing that? Oh no. Oh no, I got it wrong. Why is it sent another message? Oh. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The error here, it's line 92, which is not here. It's here. It's almost as if we need less rubbish test output, which I think that might be the next release. I want to have like doesn't matter. I'm going to make it better. It's going to be better. Such a small thing to make things much better. Boom. Cool. So what do I want to do now? Because that's pretty much what I want, eh? Like I think that's actually all you need to do like most TCP stuff. Any ideas? Anyone in the chat been using Erlang's TCP stuff? Or think of anything you'd want to do with any TCP library, really? Like, let alone Erlang. I think we might be about there. Which is like kind of nice. Like, what, 3 hours? Oh, I should document things. I've got loads of like to-do document everywhere. To-do. What do you honestly say about this? Uh, what is Fluent? Okay, so Robert says I've been using TCP a lot with Fluent D recently. I would love a TCP library that speaks Fluent's forward protocol. Is that a metric collection system? I'm trying to remember what it is. A log aggregator. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, yeah. So this would be perfect for that. You could build a little Fluent client on top of this. But I don't think you need anything else from the actual TCP socket itself, do you? That sounds much more useful than I was going to make a client for music player daemon. Just way less. Uh, yeah, way less useful than what you're suggesting. Yeah, Robert says we don't need anything extra. Excellent. Wow, so we might have like a working library. Ooh. Awesome. Timeout. What is this timeout? Uh, hmm. Gen TCP Connect. What does it say? It goes to Gen TCP Connect. Okay. And the timeout is. It doesn't say. Uh. Okay. So it's a timeout for connecting. That probably makes sense. A timeout in milliseconds for the connection to be established. Note that if the operating system turns a timeout, then this it will also return a timeout, even if this timeout value has not been reached yet. Wicked. Create a new set connection option. Yeah, sure, why not? Specify the timeout for the connection to be established. Yeah, that works. Nice. can be used to switch the nice. What else do I need to document? Send a packet to the clients. Shouldn't there be a timeout on this? Well, there should be a timeout on send as well. There is no send call with a timeout option. Use the socket option, send timeout. Timeouts are desired. Okay. I guess we just don't say anything about. I guess we just don't do a timeout for now. Let's expand the API later. We don't need to do it. This is fine. Also, my music has gone somewhere I don't want it to go. Let me change that. I'm going to listen to Dormant Movements 1 to 7 by The Flashbulb, aka Ben Jordan. Very talented musician and also like YouTube music influencer now, which seems a bit weird. Makes more money from shorting Spotify than he does for like actually having his music played out on there, which I think is kind of rad. Yeah, smart guy. very unusual chap. Send builder. Send a using this function is more efficient than turning a bit builder or a string builder into a bit array to use with the. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Here's it right, fine. Okay. Which is the targeting that's in made. Nice. This is useful for when you wish to have an OTP actor incoming messages as using the C function would result in as being blocked and unable to handle other messages while waiting for. Nice. Cool. Right. Mint by the. Gosh, maybe I should have done this as I was going along, eh? Is that everything? Yes, nice. Awesome. What have we done? Actually, there's a better view for this in VS Code, isn't there? Loads more errors. I haven't documented the errors at all. Okay. Cool. Let's try that again. Right. Oh, what have I done? What does that mean? I've done that at some point. Okay. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah. Yeah. All pretty standard stuff. It's nice that we were able to do all of that with no Erlang code at all. Nice. Yeah, how much Erlang code is there in this library? Oh, what have I done here? We find out. "15 lines of Erlang? There's still some Erlang in here. Do you think we could get rid of that? It would be, yeah, it's just that normalize function. How much do we care? Not that much. It's just a vanity thing, isn't it? Not using any Erlang. Like, using Erlang's fine. Okay, so sockets can be set to active mode. Boom! I think might actually be about ready to release this library. That's quite exciting. Is there anything else I want to do first? No, maybe that's it. Well, wonderful. In which case, I have accomplished everything I wanted to do this stream in a mere 1 hour and 13 minutes. During which I spent quite a lot of it talking my microphone off, which is quite embarrassing. Okay. Yeah. See you, gang. Maybe next time I will use it for something. How many variants does the error type have now? What a depressing question. Why would you ask that? 19 through 96. That's a lot. That's a lot. Ooh. What is that, like 77? 77 variants? Yeah, it's easy. I love operating systems. Aren't they nice? And this overlaps with like some of the ones in Simplifile and stuff as well. Oh gosh. Oh god. Sorry everyone. I'm glad I just said it was the end because I'm clearly running out of steam. Anyway, yeah, thanks for coming everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.